Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ubuntu channel this beautiful Tuesday evening. Uh, we understand the Africa Cup of Nations is going on right now, and obviously, we are so wishing the Chipolopolo all the best tomorrow as they face Morocco in a do or die encounter. That's the last Group F match at 22 hours. My name is Lawrence, hosting you today on Let's Talk Politics. That's on the Ubuntu channel program that comes to you every Tuesday to discuss variety issues to do with politics within the border of Zambia. As usual, I'm joined by Mukelabai, who actually offers us quite an in-depth analysis of the situation that we have and gives us political analysis right here on the Ubuntu channel. Mukelabai, good evening, and it's a pleasure to have you once again.
Good evening, Lawrence, and good evening, viewers. Sorry, I will come on the video in a short while, but for now, I haven't put my makeup.
That's live broadcast for you. That's what happens when it's a live broadcast, and that's what Ubuntu believes in. We believe in everything live. Now, remember, to you, our viewers, we show so much value your participation, and would love to hear from you on what we are discussing about. And today we continue from where we left from last week. That's looking at youth in politics. And last week we had also another view from Wiseman, who offered us quite some pointers there. Mukelabai, you had a challenger last week who seemed to agree with you in some instances and disagree with you in certain instances. But this evening, Mukelabai, maybe for those who did join us last week, I'll ask you to just probably just take us through some of the main pointers that you highlighted last week.
You also. I'm not going to remember.
The 1964
Anyway,
people have forgotten what we spoke about last week.
We talked about the involvement of youths in governance, because there was a concern or raised to say, why is it that senior people are given first priorities or given positions in government or in higher positions, and leaving the youths the future, because they know the know-how, they know the technology, they are updated, they have the capacity, and it's like African elders or leaders don't see the importance of the youth. And a lot were brought by, a lot of points were also argued, where someone was suggesting that education should be, the curriculum should change. Instead of spending more time at school, it's time to stick to issues that are practicable, study issues that will make the youths have a better life tomorrow. And somehow he also suggested that it was important that with or without qualification, youths must be included in leadership. Then I talked about the irresponsibility of youths not taking full responsibilities, and when they are given an opportunity, they instead of utilizing that opportunity, they tend to do other things, or they abuse their positions that warrant them to either be fired or their contracts being terminated unceremoniously. And We mentioned a lot of issues.
Yes, Mukelabai, and I think I wouldn't want to bother you to explain everything. I would urge those who would want to follow the first part of this particular discussion to actually visit our YouTube page, or right here on your face or on Facebook. You can just scroll down to this program that is last week Tuesday, and you find the whole video of it, and you can go through to pick it up from where we left from. But in the meantime, Mukelabai, we start with let's go straight into the hot issues now. Mukelabai, we've seen how women have championed the need for women inclusion in positions of governance, and successively we have seen a female vice president in this country. That is, we had a vice president in Boma Mainonge Wina, being the first female vice president of this republic, and we also now have Womtalena Lumango being the second, and they have come successively. It shows that probably the cause for gender equality have paid off. Do we stand a chance to see at least a youthful vice president in the near future?
Yes, you do stand a chance, if only you, the youths, show the capability, show your maturity, show your expertise, show your experience. Then we are going to have one day a youth in an office of either vice president, even the president himself. It's possible, even though we have a constitution that limits the age, which is quite unconstitutional. And these are issues that most of you, the youth, supposed to actually talk about and change the laws. Talk about this through your representatives in parliament. We don't know. Most of you, the youth, you have no idea how powerful you are and what you can do. But the only problem is that you are not engaging your area MPs, you are not engaging your councillors, you're not talking to them, you're not, and also them, they don't even know how to handle you guys as well. So you find it's just chipante pante at the end of the day. So we are supposed to make our leaders who are in positions today accountable for the things that we see are unfair and unjust. We can make laws. Laws can be changed by any person. If you can just start a movement to say, we feel that this is unconstitutional, this law where a president of the Republic of Zambia can only be at the age of age 35 and above. What about 30? You can't be. What about 20? We have seen, even though in West Africa the other gentleman came into power through the bar of the gun, that coup d'etat, but he's a youth. But you see how articulative he is, and you see how, despite him having gone the other way around, but you see how he's capable of running the country. I've seen how he has managed. Of course, you can't do it alone. It's a team with experts, bringing in everyone, and then you move ahead. That way, we are going to avoid this issue of having presidents for life. President like the Paul Kagames of this world, the Museveni of this world, or those president of Guinea-Bissau, is it Guinea-Bissau or Congo, Brazzaville, or whatever? These people have been sitting in those offices for years, and they're so filthy rich, and they are unable, meaning they cannot find anyone to replace them, because it is them who has done a bad, terrible job. if they could just find themselves a youth or a younger version, instead of putting the young guy into a corner and attack, call him names and stuff, support. Museveni is supposed to support that young man, Bob Wine, so that that man can, also hand the torch to the next younger generation. Then you find the democratic principles and the country will thrive, not sitting with one stagnant individual that you have been with for life. So it is possible. And I like the aspect that you brought in of women, the participation of women. It's a very good idea, and it's wonderful and it's welcome. We see how women are able to articulate matters and how they are able to run the system without any uh, uh, without any problems. But the problem that I see is that the society, our cultures, has a very bad taste when it comes to supporting women into politics. Look at the way we treated Nkanduluo. We abused her. Look at the way we treated Nawakwi. We abused her. Look at the way we treated Dora Silia.
Mukelabai,
You find
Mukelabai,
even
if,
today.
if if I can put it to you, don't you think women are enemies of themselves? Because if you go on the electoral register and check, majority of the voters, registered voters, are actually women. If the women decided to support their fellow woman, it's the same that applies to the youth. If the youth had someone to vote for and they decide to support their own, they actually would top of them, would actually make sure that they usher in their own because they have the
No,
numbers. It's the
that's
same
just a
with
wrong.
women. If you bring
It's
in
a
those
wrong
aspects,
misconception because we have
women
adults.
supported each other, we wouldn't be talking about this here.
We have people that are senior citizens that are looking forward to have a leadership of a young version, a female version, of tomorrow. We have so many senior citizens that are looking forward to have young men and women into active politics and other things, But the problem is that the young men and women themselves are let down somehow. They do not, when they are given such opportunities, or when few, those who happen to be rubbing shoulders with the authorities and they happen to be given opportunities. Look at the way they are abusing themselves and abusing others. Then you start wondering, do we have to, already you are discouraging the future leadership or the leadership that is there today to appoint a younger version or a youth because they see what is going on with the current youths. I will give you a practical example of Chela Tukuta. That young man had an opportunity, a biggest opportunity that no one in Zambia could ever have. He rubbed shoulders with senior people. He rubbed shoulders with serious businessmen and senior opposition. I mean, politicians, even presidents of not just Republic of Zambia. Everywhere he goes, that man has the opportunity. But now, look at the things he does on his spare time. Look at the things he says at times. Look at the way he's engaging himself in bullying other people online and negating, laughing, or showing off. We had the likes of the Maxwell somewhere like that, Maxwell Chungu in the previous regime. Look at the way the young man was going around showing off his achievements I'll show you my crib. This is what you're doing. And trying to tell people that are unfortunate, that don't have, that they are so unlucky. But him is so blessed. But where is he today? This is what's going to happen also with probably Chela Tukuta, because if tomorrow PF decide to come back, those houses he's busy showing, those crews, the musicians are showing, those, some will hear that somebody has been arrested and those things have been forfeited as the proceeds of crime, even when you had them legitimately. But because of the manner you present yourself, we don't see this kind of behavior from our counterparts or our colleagues who are from richer countries, or rich men and women who are youths in other countries. We don't see them showing off, negating those who don't have and consider them as unlucky, them they are blessed. That is a very serious letdown. And how do you expect adults or elderly people that are in government or that are in decision driving position to appoint a young men, because they are avoiding the same problems? They are going to avoid, to say, we don't want the situation. We have had young men, strong, viable, that are future president of this country. People like the honorable minister, the foreign minister, whatever, the former foreign minister, Kakuwo, even though he was involved in a private matter, but the fact that he was the person in the forefront campaigning day in, day out against corruption and flashing money, getting colossal sum of money. Even Faith Musonda was even involved, where people grabbed the money from Faith Musonda, and we negated that aspect. Where do we see the very guys who were against? They are now the ones being found in possessions with a lot of money, even though it is your deal privately. But look at the office that you hold. It is such kind of, but the question is, how many youths who are not even caught yet, who have not been videotaped, who are in position, who are doing the same thing? When Liswaniso, this UPND chairperson, whatever, young youth, look at him, already 1 year in government ruling as a whatever UPND. We start hearing him rubbing shoulders with minors, or is involved in this, is involved in that. Things start coming out. Then you start wondering, if Hakainde Chilema really wanted to give these guys good positions, I understand why he's feeling constrained, because already they are so overzealous.
Mukelabai, I think let's look at things the way they are. First and foremost, you gave an example of Chela Tukuta and everything that has happened. Let us not forget that uh, uh, even when he was being appointed, or he was being picked by President Hakainde Hichilema, let us not forget that he was actually convicted in 2021 for I think it was a case of
Criminal, I think it was criminal defamation, I think.
I think it was criminal defamation of character. And if that he was convicted for that before he was appointed, and then he continues to do that, why are we surprised?
Yeah, and he's a youth.
But why are we surprised? Because there are a lot of youths who have a clean slate, clean, and have not been offered the same appointment.
The youth, you seem to have a trend that you behave well when you don't have a job, and the sooner you are appointed, yangu, it's like you have opened the tantrums. It's like you have opened the Pandora box of madness. You have good opportunities in life. You have a lot of life ahead of you. Some of us, we could not, at your age, we could not have attained what you have. But look at what you guys have. You have opportunities, you have the life ahead of you. But listen to the way you are coming out. So an inspiration. You are not inspiring anyone. You are not, you are, if anything, you are bragging. You have this slave mentality. Why do you have to do those things? Learn to humble yourselves. When you have an opportunity, when you have made money, humble yourself. Look at the youths that we had, Benek Lusambo, Bowman Lusambo. He was one of the youths, but now I think he's old. Look at the manner in which he was addressing when he was given an opportunity to be a leader, a provincial minister. Look at how he handled himself, how he handled things. It is just a catastrophe. That's why you find that elderly people, they decide to say, no, we would rather go and bring Panji Kaunda and send him in missionary there because he's much well behaved. He's matured. Because the sooner we bring a youth, yeah, but you are the number one crying for. No, the youths are negated. You are given opportunity. Look at the people who are representing you. Look at Bene Kangombe in parliament. What kind of behavior do you call that? Do you call that politics? Do you call that reasonable behavior? Those are youths. Look at the way Bene Munia Zulu, they are behaving in parliament. Definitely, it is so unfair and so, how can we even trust honesty and call them honorable with such kind of Caponia mentality behavior in parliament? You don't do that. You have rules. They are just not that rules are specifically for an opposition party or for, no, rules are there. You have read them, but you choose to ignore and look the other way around, and you want to bring on your tantrums. So it is somehow.
If we go on and probably talk about all these people and the like, I think it would be very much unfair because they are not here to defend themselves.
No, but I'm talking about the examples they're reading. You know, these are youth.
So
these are youth.
The idea here is that probably they would have behaved in a certain manner, and maybe they have got a reason why they had to do that. So we do not have them right now here.
It is not an excuse to misbehave when you have rules.
But all the same.
But anyway, they are not here to defend themselves, but it's okay that I have mentioned. But I was just giving an example of the behavior of our youths who have been given an opportunity to be in leadership. The behavior is so pathetic and so disrespectful and regrettable.
Why is the focus so much on those who seem to have gone astray, and we are forgetting there are people who are actually doing well even when they are youths? We can give an example of the disaster management and mitigation unit national coordinator, that is Mr. Pollen. He's done exceptionally well. You mean youths like that can't be cited as examples for others to be given opportunities?
That's why they are given opportunities, because of such people. But then, when you have the percentage of the youths that almost 95% of those appointed that showed their behavior to be reasonable, then suddenly, just because now they are receiving a good pay and they are in decision-making positions, and then suddenly they change their attitude.
And I'll also make mention, I think last year I met up with the Chipata mayor, who is actually very, very, very young, very, very, very young, and he's doing exceptionally well for Chipata Municipal Council there. All those are good examples of youths that are doing well, having been given opportunities. And actually, this time around, we've seen quite an increase in the number of councillors who actually are youths. And I've hosted, I think, two on the Monday program. I mean, two councillors on the Monday program who seem to quite have very, very, very brilliant visions for their wards. And all these things bring us back to say, even with adults, we can point out a lot of adults who have really messed up, but we still have them in power. We can give you several examples, examples upon examples upon examples of the old folks who also have messed up here and there. But we still have old folks controlling the situations here. We still have old folks in key government positions here. Don't you think it's being selective when you try to highlight only the youths, that they did this one did that, the other one did that, when I can also actually give you several examples of the old folks who have messed up? Actually, if you look at the cases of corruption that we have in the courts of law, the cases that the anti-corruption is dealing with, majority of them are not have not been perpetrated by the youth. So why are we looking at the youths with one eye and forgetting the old folks?
We are not looking at this with the one eye. We are looking at the whole context. We see the attributes of appointing a youth, what happens. But of course, we are going to look at what's his name again? This musician that was currently appointed as permanent secretary. He's doing well. And his counterpart as well, he's doing well. Those are youths. Those are youths, unless they lied to us about their age, that they reduced their age. But otherwise, to me, I consider them youths. They're doing well, you know, and we see results. We are able to see what they are able to do. They're organizing a lot of what do you call them? These activities, and there's so much that's going on, and they are busy on the ground and doing all the work. We like it. We like it. But believe you me, Zambia, we thrive when we see controversial people. We thrive on that. And we have so many young men who are and women. And then you wonder, sometimes I also contribute sometimes to the same drama going on, to just say, I can't wait for gravity to take its own course. When I see the young women undressing in public, young women walking naked, practically naked, even though we have culture, we want to adopt other people's culture just because we have the capacity, we have the money. Then we start looking at others as in a different way. And these are youths. These are youths. Look at the way, listen to the profanities that have been showered on social media. Listen to their reasoning behind the conversations. So childish, and you wonder, how can you build, what kind of a grandparent are these going to be tomorrow? Or what kind of mothers or fathers are these going to be tomorrow? And what kind of leaders are we going to have with such kind of behavior tomorrow? So it is start from there. When we see a lot that are busy doing illicit activities that may cause, there's so much moral decay. And nobody's standing up to speak against, including the churches, those who are the champion of religious and moral, whatever, uprights. We hear them. They are the ones actually in the forefront. being chased, being jumping the wall fences after being caught with their pants down. So it just from there you can tell that this is the group, this is the generation that you want us to lead us tomorrow. Where do you think we are going to go? Are we going to reach there? Are we going to be to manage to reach where we are going with such kind of so that's why somehow I think, I know it's not an excuse, but I feel that that's why you find the leadership are not willing to appoint as many youths as possible and put them in decision position because of the fear of unreasonable behavior. Look at the youths that are breaking. For example, the students at UNZA. These are young men and women. These who are in high learning institutions.
I think when you
Look
talk
at
of
the
riots,
manner in which they present their problems.
even some, probably even in the time of the current president, riots were happening at UNZA. Let's not make it look like it's a now problem. Actually, from time immemorial, let us look at things the way they are. From time immemorial, riots at UNZA have reduced in this time. Because those days, a year would not go without a riot at UNZA, without a riot at CBU. In the times of the people that we have as leaders now things have changed. It's even those things have actually reduced because of civilization that has.
Why should, yes, civilization is proceed. You know, we are growing, we are evolving. We don't have to go and start breaking other people's property. We can simply sit down around the table and find common ground and find reasonable solutions. Unlike what we see, those days, probably you can say we were still ignorant. We didn't know. We didn't even have technology, probably. We didn't even know how to sit down and, you know.
If you
Yes,
talk
please.
about riots, actually, I think I have been a university student. I know things that happen. One thing for sure is, if you try to engage the powers that be, in most cases, you will write letters, you will have meetings, you will not see the action, you will not see the change. The moment these leaders hear that cars have been broken there, pronouncements are made instantly and change happens. So it's like that is the language that sometimes leaders understand. Now, what do you think students would do? They engage, they write letters, they engage, and they don't get feedback. And this is actually things that we need to work on as a country, in my own view. These are things that we need to work on. You can pile the blame on students all day long. At the end of the day, if you ask them, have you tried to engage the powers that be? They'll tell you yes. And they can even produce the letters in instances. Sometimes they can even produce to you the letters. This is what we wrote to them. This is what we said to them. Up to now, we have not received any feedback.
Protesting is a right. Demonstrating is a right. You have the right. That's what it's
I seem
about.
not to be getting you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the internet connection is okay.
Protesting. I'm saying, can you hear me now? Hello, can you get me now? I can hear you loud and clear. It's you who has who has a problem now. Me, I can still hear you loud and clear. Anyway, what I was trying to say or to respond to you was riotous behavior. It's illegal and it's a crime in Zambia. If you are found to be behaving in such a way that you are distracting other people's or violating other people's freedom of movement or injure their properties or assault them, then you are committing a serious crime. And that's not what the law says about demonstration. That's not what the laws say about protesting. We have the right, students have the right to protest. They have the right to demonstrate. If they are unhappy with certain decisions that management are making, they have all the legal right to demonstrate. But there are channels that we need to follow. But when you find that you take the law into your own hands and start damaging other people's property just because you have been denied to be given a meal allowance, you go on the street and break the doors or break cars of private individuals that you have no idea how they have managed to acquire those properties. Just because you are called a student, then you go and break. That is what I'm talking about, to say such kind of behavior should never be accepted in a society. But if you want to demonstrate, you want to protest against certain devices that are not favoring you, that you are against, you are very much at liberty to do so. The law provides that. We are in a democratic dispensation, we're a country. Demonstrations are legit and are legal and are allowed to do so. You are allowed to demonstrate for as long as you follow the right channels and you are not injuring other people's rights. You may need protection as well from people that may not like what you're demonstrating against. For example, you want to demonstrate about gay rights in a Christian nation like Zambia, where there's a law that says no, you cannot be gay, and then you want to go and demonstrate and break properties. People will come for you. So you can demonstrate, but you have to demonstrate within the legal, within the certain norms that are given to you. It is written, it's in black and white. So why should we abrogate the law just because we are called students? No. That's what I was trying to say, the behavior of students at times is not acceptable, especially when it comes to riotous behavior. Rioting and demonstrating, they are two different things.
Okay.
Rioting is a crime.
Not to say that.
Rioting is a crime. It's a criminal offense. If you riot, because you're breaking the law. But demonstrating is not, you are not breaking any law by demonstrating. You are demonstrating or you are protesting. You are not. You just need to follow the right procedures. That's all. So that's why many youths are left out. It's because of behavior like that. When you have a behavior of a criminal, that a behavior that is of a criminal in nature, then you are not going to be either given that opportunity. And that's why many elderly people that are in decision making, they leave you out. They wait until you are matured enough. That's when they'll give you a job. But it is important to have a conversation. It is important to talk about these issues. Youths, yes, they need to be employed. They need to participate in the development of a country, in economical issues, in leadership. Youths are supposed to be involved because you are the future. That's why I personally was saying to Wo Edgar Changwalungu, our former president, that Instead of you coming back, Wolungu, you have a youth of a daughter who is already a member of parliament. That is where you should have come back to. Go support your daughter. The reason why your daughter, she's an MP today, because of you, Wolungu. Because of you, many people loved you because of the way you were governing, and they saw that this man, we want this type of a man. And then they see the attributes of Wolungu in the daughter. They voted for her. The Chawama people voted for her to be a member of parliament. She won. What is wrong with the Wolungu supporting his daughter to be either to take over the party or to elevate her to stand for as a national leader, as a president or vice? That is where we get it wrong. Now, by him coming back, he has taken over, has destroyed chances of a daughter wanting to be president, or for her to continue with her career. He is shutting them down because right now Wolungu is not popular anymore. You cannot capitalize because Ubungana Budula, and that's when you want, I want to come back. You are the reason why Ubungana Buyapamu. Because you never left Ubunga Buya down. Ubunga, you left when Ubunga was skyrocketing. And then you come back and you want to say, wait, he has failed. These guys have failed. Let me come and where, please, you never. Well, we love you, my brother. We love you, old man. We want you to stay in your lane. Stay home. Take care of that lovely, lovely woman of yours. Well, Esther. Take care of her. Let Tasila Lungu, as a youth, she's a youth. Tasila can be the president of this country. I promise you, she can do that. People love her. She's humble. She's down to earth. Same as when Imboela, Savoy Imboela. Savoy Imboela, she's also one of the youths. I don't know, maybe she's now crossed over, but she's still a youth to me. These are people that we need to support. But of course, sometimes the things they say, the things they do, makes you start questioning, should I support? Should I? Let us try to bring our youths in, and youths should start behaving seriously, or rather responsibly, not what you are busy showing on social media and then you want to stand as a minister. No. So this issue, Vane, we need to change our mindset. The youths in compounds are supposed to be in the forefront teaching the young ones how to clean
Okay,
themselves.
Mukelabai, I'm not sure if you're able to hear me.
I can hear you, yes. I can hear you, Lawrence.
Mukelabai, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, apologies. I'm having a serious disruption with the internet.
It's okay. It works for me because nobody's interrupting me.
So, so either ways, I think probably I would love you to highlight how you think the older generation can pass on these leadership experiences to the young ones in the absence of these
In the absence of what? Can you explain properly? You're cut at the last minute. In the absence of what? Anyway, not to just to respond to what I have heard so far, what you're trying to say. Yes, leadership, the current leadership, and those senior citizens who are still serving, you know, your biological clock is ticking, meaning not giving birth, but at least the retirement, you know, it is ticking. So it is high time you started grooming the young ones, people to take over your offices, people to take over your positions, because you are not going to be in those offices for the rest of your lives. No, you can't do that. Nature does not allow. Nature does not allow, because nature will only comes in and take its own course by eliminating you or retiring you itself if you want to hold on. I will give a practical example of Robert Mugabe. People, they saw that this man is still old, is now old, but he still wanted to hold on to power. They tried to talk to him, but they could see that he did not want. What happened? They had to force themselves to bring him, to take power from him. What happened? He never even survived that long. He stayed for only maybe 6 months or 1 year. Nature came and claimed its part and took him away. Even Museveni. So this should be a wake-up call to African leaders. Museveni should know that by now he is in his 70s or 80s. He should leave power to the young ones. Let him groom. If he has not groomed anyone to take over from him, then he has been a bad leader. Because as a leader, as a proper leader, look at what happened in North Korea. They were grooming that little boy, the so-called current king now. Yeah, his parents groomed him. They took him to school. They did this and they nurtured. There he was. The moment the father passed on, they brought him in, and he's doing exactly what his parents. He's just continuing where his parents left. Even though they're a dictator, there's a dictatorship going on, and people are not happy with their governance. But at least they are grooming their successors. So the question is, what successor, what church, who is going to take over from you when you decide to retire? When you have served your 10 years? This issue should start now. You should start grooming one individual that you think will fit your narratives, you fit or carry on your legacy. That's why you find that most African leaders, when you leave offices, everything that you have built crumbles down to ashes, because there's nothing that you have left behind. You have not even groomed anyone. Even parents, practical individuals, just in homes, African parents, I'm a parent as well. I don't know why we don't we don't groom our children to carry on the business of a family, we are so, I don't know whether we are jealous, or to be in position, or to employ some of your own members, family members, to put them in strategic positions so that you don't, of course we may call that tribalism or nepotism, but hey, life is life. Employ some of your relatives your family members. I'm not advocating for tribalism or nepotism, no. But it's the right thing to do. Bring up, support those that are unfortunate. When you are in a decision position, in a good position, help those others that have no capacity. Bring them to speed as well. Help them. Extend a hand. If you have the capacity, you have friends that need to hire a family member, hire them. So I would simply challenge all of you parents, leaderships, to groom the young ones to take over from you one day when you have reached your retirement age. Please, let us groom the young ones, the youths. We know who is capable. And you, the youths, I know you want to also take over, but you have to show that you are capable. You are willing to behave in a rightful manner. You are willing to take over and run institutions even much better than the senior citizens. Unlike what we see, what you post on social media, because we don't take you seriously. And how could elderly people put you in decision position when you have been exchanging profanities online with other people? Then tomorrow they want to call you honorable, or they want to call you your honor. Let us behave, let us show, and of course, educate yourselves. If you really want positions, those positions you are aiming at, they don't just come for free. You need to earn them. But if you have the qualifications to meet those positions, then you and me can come here and talk about how unfair adults are, because they are not appointing you even when you have the qualifications and you have the experience and you have the maturity to lead, to take leadership. With those few remarks, I just want to end here and say thank you so much for having joined us. I know that my presenter has been kicked out of the studio due to the internet problem. But otherwise, the program has been okay. I just hope that and trust that we have heard, we've taken note of things. We may have said things that may have injured you. Please, we would love to sincerely apologize in our private capacity, not as Ubuntu, because as Ubuntu, we do not, our opinions are our own mistakes. If we make any mistake, we are the ones responsible for the wrong things that we say and do, and not Ubuntu. So with the help of the technician and behind the closed door, I just want to say thank you so much and have a blessed evening, and God bless you. And please stay clean. Let's keep our areas, our homes clean. Wash our hands, as cholera is a dirty disease and we should not be suffering from cholera. It's a dirty disease. It's not even possible. It's not even necessary to pray to God to help us take away cholera. Cholera is us who tolerate it. So we can clean ourselves to avoid having cholera. So please, let us clean ourselves, clean our surroundings. We need to do that. And then we'll kill cholera. Will never come and visit us and take our lives. Natotera mkwai. Muzwe hande mpira.